Four Sisters Live.
And it is a great, great happy Saturday, happy Sabbath day, and happy wonderful sunshine day. It's still February. We're in Black History Month, celebrating our legends, our ancestors, those who have done such great work in the community. So we're going to be talking about that today. We have to continue to talk about what's going on in the community. Why? Because we're in the community. And today is a great day because we're so honored to be here at Busboys, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Busboys.
Yeah, yeah. So, to introduce ourselves, I'm Wyoming.
I am Linda.
I'm Ted. And I'm Shirley.
And again, we are
Four Sisters Live.
So, Linda, this is your day, sweetie. You know, this is the health and wellness, and we talk about that on our show. So this is a place, a great place to start talking about.
It's a nice, healthy place to be.
Yeah, nice.
Nice, healthy food.
Yeah.
Vegan food, vegetarian food. Yeah. So I'm really happy to be here because the most important thing that we need to understand about our health, we want to spend our wealth.
Yes.
But you can't spend it if it's sick.
No.
Except on doctor bills, and we're not trying to do that.
No.
So we're trying to eat right. 2020, we want everyone to eat right. We want you to lose 20 pounds. 2020.
That's a good number.
Let's spread the word. 20 pounds, everybody. 2020.
And that is good because they are having challenges. In that respect.
Yes, we do.
So that's a good sign because mentally it's all how you think, it's how you talk, and how you feel. And so you're saying 20
pounds.
Why that's not good.
And it's all over the nation now. Oprah, she has a challenge. Our church is having that challenge with that organization. So we're trying to do 20 pounds. I know I need to because that's exactly I think how many I gained.
Yeah.
From the last 2 years.
So what's going on, sisters? Somebody got some good news. I'm sure you all have.
There's some good news out here.
So you all, tell you what's happening in the world, girl.
Girl, I can sit still.
That's not you.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I don't believe that.
I do not believe her.
I don't. You know what? No, I don't believe. Peggy, where do you have to go today?
Yeah, where do you have to go?
Because that
Sitting still.
you sitting still in that program. Oh my God. No, but you know what it is. Sit still and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's still in a roll. Sit still. You didn't tell us that part. Sit still and roll.
Sit still and roll.
Okay.
Well, that sounds good though.
Yeah, you can roll out.
That's healthy, actually.
It is. Because we got to move.
meditate on the things that we need to
Exactly.
work on. So, most definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Charlene, what you up to, girl?
You know what? I like the 20 pounds, but I'm not losing 20 pounds for nobody.
No.
I don't think Charlene, and that's not a situation you have to be
That's not
concerned
a
about.
situation, but I do want to be 20 pounds heavier in those finances. How about that?
Oh, okay.
So how about we, I've got, my own solution of having 20 extra grand in savings, stocks.
There you go.
Investments. So I thought, it's all about our finances too. We talk about health, but we also need to talk about our finances.
Yes.
What are we doing to make sure to take the opportunity, have a legacy, such as Kobe and other great men. Martin Luther King, he left a legacy. He also left, his ways to our financial. And the only way to do that is your mentality. So when your mind is right, everything else is right. So this show is actually right on point to what we're going to be covering today, and that is our health. If your mind is not right, nothing else is right. You can have all the money in your so I've been working on that mind and wealth. How about that?
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing to work on because that's what our conversation has been about for the past couple of years. That we want to take care of our health and that we want to have wealth. And so this is our opportunity now to talk about these things. We can always talk about it, but not just talk about it, but be about it.
Right.
We have to be about what we're talking about. So we all have to talk about we're going to challenge each other. Remember we said we're going to challenge each other and be accountable for what we do. So I think that's what we need to continue to do. As sisters, we have to say, hey, how's it going? How you doing?
How you feeling?
How you feeling? Yes. How you feeling? So I think we all are accountable for what we're doing. However, it's what we do as a community of sisters. We're going to stay connected. If you stay connected, that's a health thing in itself. When you are connected, you feel good. You know, that's a reason for you to have another event today. Can I just shout it out?
Amina, she is having Love by the Handles, but they're presenting a teen dating violence awareness event. And it's going to be from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Glow Bar. Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of a Glow Bar. What's that?
It's located 6595 Covington Way.
Okay.
So I must take back what I just said, and I'm only sitting for a moment, but trust me, I will show up and represent Sisters for Sisters Network, supporting Amina. Okay?
Absolutely. Shout out to Amina. She's an amazing woman for healing
And I want you to
empower.
connect with her as well.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned it about that.
Yes.
The other thing is that I believe you all went to support one of the sisters. It was in Annapolis who was sworn in for something politically this week.
No, you know what we did? We supported the first black chief in Prince George's County,
Yes,
fire
okay.
department.
Yes. So that was her swearing in.
I was
ceremony?
swearing in,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Tiffany, Chief Tiffany Green.
Yes.
Let's
They've
give
been
her
talking
time.
about
Tiffany!
yes. That is a moment in Black history right there.
That is.
The first African American chief, woman in the chief of Prince George's County.
Correct.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Wow.
that
Well,
is
well, speaking
awesome.
about that, what we got in Black History, since we're talking about the first Black, you got anything on
Yes,
Black
what
History
we
for
doing
us?
on Black History Month.
Probably did not know the Surgeon General or the Obama administration. Did anybody know?
The who's that? Surgeon General?
Obama administration was Surgeon General.
No.
No. Okay. Her name was Regina Garcia Benjamin. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, but I started looking at it. But she is number one. She was the Surgeon General between 2009 and 2013. She was selected by President Obama.
Wow.
And she is originally from Mobile, Alabama, and she graduated from Fairhope High School, and she also went to Xavier University in New Orleans. She had a wonderful organization where what I liked about her, she talked about wellness. And I think that's probably what the First Lady talked about wellness. So,
Yeah, what are you doing? Wait a minute, Wyoming. Wyoming.
What am I doing?
Yes.
Oh
oh my goodness.
No, I'm not hiding. It's just the fact of the matter is that you do so much until you don't focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing a line, moving a line, you just don't really focus on yourself.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know, many projects that I'm doing at this time, you all know we have a performance of the Golden Girls is coming up tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Where's that at, Y? Where's that at again?
City Winery tomorrow.
City Winery. Oh, good food. Good
And
Brussels
it's a good thing.
sprouts.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the energy, you know, it's a positive thing. You get tired, of course.
Yes.
Because of all that what you do and you're passionate about what you do. But this is something that I think we all need to do, and that's laugh and have fun. That's what the Golden Girls is going to be about tomorrow. Proud to say that we're sold out.
That's a good thing, being sold out. Yay.
So we're going to have another one coming out. We've got so many other things that we're going to be announcing in the very, very near future. You all probably already heard. If you haven't heard, on WPGC, we're bringing back the Gids.
Oh, wow.
This is coming back.
What?
Yes, it's coming back in August 21st, 23rd, and 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the Warner Theater.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we got tickets
goodness.
already going for sale starting next week on the 14th. So that's a wonderful thing that we can start, you know, having our families to come and see, bring our children, all this, the family affair. So that's a DC, yeah, the go-go. You talked about the go-go, absolutely. So all that rich history, we can now say that we are acclaiming and we are proclaiming that it's going to be an awesome, awesome time. So yeah, and then you also have an opportunity to get your tickets to our May 17th event at the Bethesda Jazz and Blues. We're bringing another laughter back, and that one is called The Fresh Prince of Potomac.
I can't even imagine.
The Fresh Prince of Potomac. You know Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
I cannot take it. Not of Potomac. Really? This is so hilarious. Did you hear that, Davida? The Fresh Prince of Potomac?
Right.
Only a DC creative would do that. Only. That is amazing. Yes.
Understand the scenario behind that, but it's going to be hilarious. And
Can I guess the plot? Is one of your boys like that's from like around in this area? He moved on up and he moved with some relatives in Potomac. Is it something like that? I can't even imagine.
You know.
Or unless he moved from really Philly to Potomac.
Okay. Yes.
You got some guys that's in your neighborhood.
And then you're going to understand if they say better by and by as we start promoting it and start talking about who's going to be
How
involved.
fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
How fun. Well, guys.
So that's where my life is. That's what's going on. Just maintain it.
Good stuff, Wawa.
Yeah, thank you. And plus, I am so excited about my sisters. I just want to applaud you guys because we are our own history and what we can write our own story about who we are. We are sisters for sisters.
Yeah,
network.
Yes.
And this is our history and moment in time.
I know.
And this is where we are here today because we have decided to bring our show out into the community to talk about what's happening around us. And we're excited. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Charlene.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I grew up in Southeast. This is my area. Yeah.
My work class up when they do. I just knew I was somebody. I loved it. But I still love that building, and I'm so happy to see the colors and the sun. I've always pictured when you come across the bridge when I first moved, and this was over 20 years ago. Anacostia just being very colorful and being exactly what it is now. You know, so I am so proud and so happy that this restaurant is here, one of my favorite restaurants. Now we know where to come.
Now we know where to come.
You can come here.
And we will be here again, so we're going to talk about that before we leave this today on when we have a schedule of when we will be here at Bus Boys Report. So be on the lookout, we're on the move.
There we go.
All right.
Moving on up.
Moving on up.
Moving on.
Lot in store. Linda, what do you have going on today? We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have a special guest from Howard University, Dr. Crew. She's paused time with her. We're going to talk about heart disease because this is American Heart Health Month.
Yes.
And the most important thing that we all need to know, we need to work the heart. We need to work the heart more. And Dr. Crew, she's going to tell us her experience and we need to know the signs. We eat every single day. So again, it goes back to the food. So we're going to talk with Dr. Crew. We'll be back in about 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Thank you. Be back.
We're back. Hi.
And we're back.
Charlene,
So,
Charlene, pull the mic back out of the face.
pull it towards her, it's in her face. There you go.
I have no clue how this works. Somebody else can do this. It's not me.
Come over and pull that down and you kind of adjust it. Yes, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, we're back.
She had 2 mics.
So Linda, we have a health and wellness section today.
Yes, we
Talk
do.
about health and wellness. We have a special guest.
Sandra Edwards Crew, PhD in social work. Y'all give her a hand, y'all. She's also a professor and the dean at Howard University. HU, you and everybody you know. We know who's
Here, it brings me warm, fuzzy feelings. I have a lot of students who are working in the neighborhood, so thank you so much for this fabulous opportunity. I'm on the board of the Open My Heart Foundation along with Peggy, and this is a special month for us because we're really focusing on African American women and heart problems. And as you know, it's the #1 killer of African American women, and we want to get that word out. Often we hear about heart problems and heart disease, and we think it's somebody else's problem.
yeah.
It's actually our problem. I know, the data show that at least 1 of every 2 women, African American women, cardiovascular problems.
Yeah.
And when we add our caregiving roles to that,
Yeah.
it's even more impacted because if we don't have the problem ourselves, we're caring for someone in families who have the problem. So we really need to stop and pay attention to this really important problem that's facing us. So when we want to think about, why are we more at risk? It's critically important to understand this. It's partially sport, but it's also behavior. We need to lose those 20 pounds that you talked about, that challenge, that 20 challenge. I'm taking that challenge. And I kind of figured maybe if I start in March and you lose 2 pounds a month, I'll be there.
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So, but we have to start thinking about ways that we can improve our outcomes. So when we think about how do we know if we're at risk of heart disease? Well, the #1 way of thinking about it is it in the family.
Yeah, hereditary.
Do you have a member of your family who has heart disease? Also, those 60 plus and over, that places you at risk. So I have 2 of the 2 so far.
Yeah.
So I'm paying attention to that. And we also diabetes. 3 out of 3 I'm looking at, so it's really important. And then hypertension. So those are things that really should signal you to be aware that you could have things that weigh us down. We have to be aware of that, and because of that.
Amazing.
So we have to be aware of it. If we can invest in prevention. I say to my students at house, if you know better, do better. We know better. But sometimes, the stressors really don't allow us to do
So
that.
do you have a health plan food as far as eating, a diet, a certain, because you look good.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And I know you are definitely conscious of what you eat and the things that you put into your body. So are you working with a regimen yourself?
Well, basically, it's a self-regimen, but I do try to drink water, and I walk rather than take the elevator.
That's good.
I'm doing that. And I'm also very much aware. That's right. So if I have the option, so we call that bout exercise. That means the exercise you get by running around and about doing the daily work. So I kind of take the long way around. But the other thing is I'm diabetic. So knowing that I have to control that sugar intake, it helps a lot. So I'm not always good about it, but I know if I fall off the wagon, then I can't fall off the wagon every meal.
Right.
So, and I thought we have to kind of know our own bodies and meet our own symptoms of doing that. But I really, we're excited. The Open My Heart Foundation is that we're having our 5th anniversary gala. And, and that's on February 28th. Martin's Crosswind. We hope that everyone listening will buy a ticket. You can go online at openmyheartfoundation.org and you will find out more about it. What's special about this address gala is that we are honoring the survivors of heart disease. It's not just prevention, it's intervention. Really saying to those who have overcome some challenges, we support you. We're there for you. The organization is really engaged in helping women who are facing this illness. My sister has congestive heart failure. So not only is it professional, it's personal.
Personal to the family.
But the Open My Heart Foundation and coming to the Red Dress Gala, I've been to it.
Beautiful.
All of the women celebrating health.
Yes.
We can do it, but we look forward to seeing you there. And
Martin's Crosswinds, and that is February the 12th. It's going to be a fashion show?
It's going to be a fashion show where we will have models kind of displaying their red.
Okay.
So, but we invite you to buy a ticket. So,
yes.
And what we use the proceeds to help women who are struggling with the finances.
That's a good thing.
So,
sometimes you're not insured, and that's a whole different conversation that we definitely need to have, because when you get ill and you don't have insurance, then that makes you sicker.
It brings on more stress.
And if we sacrifice ourselves, not others. So we need to really. So
I want to thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much.
We're going to keep this word out, and we will be announcing the event. This is the end of this month, so we got a few more times to focus and put it out there, because we want it to be a success. It's always been a success and a wonderful event.
Thank you so much.
congratulations on this fabulous show.
Amazing. But guys, so we'll be right back after these messages. Lonzo baby is in the house. Thank you.
I'm always working, boy. I'm never lazy. Listen, baby, it's just so amazing. Money for the good show, though. The crowd goes crazy. I told that girl to wait backstage, but she got tired of waiting. So she went ahead and hopped on stage and twerked on love, so baby, don't act crazy. You the one that was acting shady. Back then I wasn't lame. You said I'd be ashamed. You even said that you hate me. Wasn't even in the game now since I got a change. You said you wanted to date me. You said a prima donna, why should I even buy the outfit? You better walk on a doctor, because these girls are so stupid. Fall in love with a dude like Cupid. Girl can't play with me, I'm ruthless. Beat your heart out your mouth, leave it toothless. Baby, I'm the teacher and you the student, because I was saying while you do not lay 3 days now, I'm still cool. You're crying on the table, you lose it. Love song, baby, drive me crazy. Love song, baby, drive me crazy. You should know that I'm nice, baby. I'm always working, boy. I'm never lazy. So low, don't know who is it. I was so much over when I come to get hit. Get low, so when I'm on a show, don't you really find a chance for a man this cold. But in every day, get up, don't get old. Such a shame, but you gotta go. All that talking is what I hope. No money, don't get it. I can smell it through my nose. People just say, I was an average Joe. It's LOSO. It's your brain. Just take it to go. All these girls backstage at my show. She only comes in if she get up. I don't know. When you see me, I bet you sweat. I make you nervous from my sex. Yes, I got a grown man, feel like original. We got the same residual. Not so long, I'm gonna be the cool. Just keep on my shit when I'm running through. You don't know me, please stop playing me. You my homie, y'all don't know me. Look at that, it's clear that you don't know me. You won't know me, that's why I stick to myself, keep it lonely. Got a small foot, can't put in that work on my only. Say you got that word ethic, but tell me just how you know. Can't even keep a job to me, you a slave. Don't put any to nobody, don't need love so that you know. That's all I'm ready, got you ready. Killing beats, case closed. Case closed. No, so baby, got you ready, I know Mercedes.
My name is Loso Baby. Y'all can look me up anywhere, any platform. I just released a single called Wet. Y'all need to get that joint. Search it. Loso Baby. Loso Baby. WEWHET. Yo, thank y'all so much for everything, man.
Yes.
Bless for sisters as well, man. Give it up for them. God bless y'all, man.
Yes. So baby, I'm telling you.
Baby. New
Talking
CD
about
coming out.
energy.
Wow.
Our baby, right?
Talk about
You brought us some
getting your
energy for
cardio
real.
on.
Wow.
Your cardio is on now. I mean, you could be really saying like, I am healthy because all those moves he just made. Peggy.
I can do those. No,
Yeah,
sir.
right.
I got to put my hair back in.
Exactly.
Shake it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
guys. Awesome. Well, guys.
We have, who do we have now?
We have Mr. Ron King, and he is a good friend of mine, old neighbor of Anacostia, right here in Marlboro Club, years ago. So glad to see you. Ron is a community relations specialist in the office of the Director of the District of Columbia Department of Health. So give him a hand, the Department of Health.
Yes.
Department of Health. Yes. It's good to represent DC in the
What are you
house.
going to bring to us today?
Okay, well, hello. I'm glad to be here with Four Sisters Live.
Thank you.
The Department of Health protects us. Our mission is to keep us all safe, disease-free, and that's what we endeavor to do. We have several administrations within the department that cover various issues. One, we have our Center for Policy Planning and Evaluation, and this is the division that does research on various diseases. It helps us determine where we should prioritize our interventions. It also oversees our Vital Records Division. That's where people go to get birth certificates and death certificates. We also have the Community Health Administration. And summer, we have free vaccines for our pets. We also have one of the sharpest rodent control teams in the country. That also comes under health regulations and licensing
Rodent
administration.
machines.
And we have some innovative strategies with combating rodents. We started a few months ago putting out birth control for rodents because rodents reproduce tremendously.
Yes.
Litter can be
Now that's interesting to
tens
know about
and
that. 'Cause
hundreds.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then they carry diseases also. I mean, I was doing a study in the Baltimore area, and they were showing where they actually carry diseases, and that's what we have going on right now in China. Most of that disease that we're talking about is coming from an animal, and most people are not thinking like, oh, it's just a common cold. No, it's bigger than a common cold. Because you talked to us a little bit about that.
We are going to talk about
Yes,
that. Oh,
yes, most definitely, because that is very concerning to us. Just watching on the news right now that some people can't come.
Because it's not too late to get the flu vaccine. Flu season is going to be
And some
with
people
us.
shy away from that
Some
due to
people
the fact
do.
age-wise.
Some people do, but certainly seniors definitely need the flu vaccine, and those with compromised immune systems need it. Think of a very, very bad cold and fever, for someone with a compromised immune system, the flu can be fatal. And quite frankly, hundreds of thousands of people die in the world annually from the flu.
I've heard that, yeah.
Here in the United States, we've had no deaths from the coronavirus. But let me talk more specifically about DC. We're very proactive with our health department here, and I can happily say we don't have any cases here. Okay. The coronavirus is an upper respiratory condition. And so what we advise people to do in the health department is to prevent disease so we don't get to the point where you are sick or where you have to be hospitalized or treated. And I'm glad to follow the heart disease and women's health. Well, I would suggest, and we suggest, I don't want to say just me, but we suggest as public health officials, wash your hands. That cannot be overemphasized, particularly with something like this. We tell people in general, but certainly with this, since this is transmitted respiratorily, cover your mouth. If you're coughing or sneezing, it's in your armpit. But wash your hands often. That's so very important. What are the symptoms? The incubation period can be up to 4 weeks. We want to know if someone presents with something. Now, what we tell folk, if you think you have something, call your doctor before you go. You want to seek medical attention and get to medical professionals because you may have to be hospitalized. But we don't have any cases here, which is a good thing. And our goal is to prevent, so we don't get to.
Well, we just saw breaking news over here when you said we haven't had anyone from the U.S. to be affected. They just had breaking news that our first one was affected and I think has died from the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So it is very serious. We must definitely continue to talk about it, educate ourselves relative to our health in general.
Yes.
Because everyone is just not as health conscious as they should be, but I mean because of the DC Health Department, we must always continue to talk about these things. Now, you are mailing things out to the community to always talk about what the latest news is or what we can do to continue to prevent a lot of these health things.
We always do that, and let me just do a little throwback.
In 1 minute we have left with you.
Just 1 minute?
1 minute left, so we gotta wrap it up, but let us know.
You want to hang out with us?
We understand.
We got it after the show. After the show, we're going to have our lunch at the show. Let's talk about that.
Let me tell people to check out our Twitter account. We're on Twitter. Yes, we're on Twitter because that's what young people use.
That's true. That's true. All the social media.
We're on Facebook, DC Health, but on Twitter it's at DC Health. On Facebook it's DC Health. We have a website that's www.dchealth.dc.gov. Check us out. I'll give a phone number, 202-442-5955. But if you check out our website, you see all of the various programs that we have. But the other thing we do, because we realize not everybody is connected to the internet. So we get out to advisory neighborhood commission meetings. We go to civic and citizens association meetings. We go to churches. We're at health fairs. We are everywhere. And I mean, we actually come to restaurants like Busboys and Bowling. It's live. So we're here. Okay.
We're good. That's wonderful. You had a question?
Oh, no, I think this is wonderful.
Do we have like about 10 seconds left?
You got that. You got anything.
You know, there's an issue with the opioid epidemic.
Yes.
A lot of young folk in the suburbs are getting, and there's all this attention now about being compassionate. Well, the demographic here tends to be about middle age, 54, and these are people who've been using heroin for years. And you may pass along and see people lying out on the sidewalks. Well, we offer Narcan trainings. We do this every other month at the department. And this is so important because we are having deaths of people overdosing. And we tell young people and anybody who is prone to use illicit drugs that just about anything on the streets today is spiked with fentanyl. And that is a killer. It's a killer, particularly when employed by someone who's not a scientist, who doesn't know the proper dosages. So we tell people, don't use illegal stuff. But if you know someone, or suspect you come across someone who's overdosed, then we suggest you carry this. If you have a family member or friend who you know does drugs and might overdose, this can save a life. Narcan cannot be overprescribed, but if someone passes out, seconds are essential to squirt this up into the nostril, and it will bring the person back. We have this in drugstores, pharmacies throughout the city. Each and every ward has this right up the street.
Are they free?
They are free. And here's the other thing.
That's something that need to be put out even in the public a lot more, because people are not aware of that.
They are, that's what, they are free, and you can, and we do trainings on this every other month.
Okay.
And if you go to a drugstore and the drugstore hassles you, let us know, because they're supposed to dispense this without prescription. This is not for a doctor, this is for the layperson. And we have, this is very important, we have a Good Samaritan law. So that, because oftentimes when people do drugs, they do it with friends. Well, if you are with someone who overdoses, call 911 right away, and you will not be prosecuted even if you were doing the drugs too. That's the purpose of the Good Samaritan law, and that way we can save lives, and that's what we want to do.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
my God, that was so good. Thank you.
You educated us so much today. Yes, definitely. So we want to thank.
Thank you, Ron, for coming.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I invite you back,
Okay.
especially when we're here in DC.
Sure.
He needs a whole hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on? And what you can see, we got something free that we can help.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank
We're
you.
going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with our next guest,
Oh, you can just,
and we'll be right back.
just lay that. That was so amazing.
Hey, we're back. Yeah.
We want to thank Ron King for all of that information that he gave
Yeah,
us
that's
about the
important
health
information.
department, and that is very crucial.
Yeah.
That we understand what's going on in that area. A lot of people be aware, they're not.
I had no idea.
Yes.
I had no
And
idea.
it's free.
Right.
You know,
and,
so-
and just the fact that while we're sitting here, someone just dies in the U.S. That, you know, and I'm concerned about that because I'm in Uber and Lyft all the time. You don't know who just came from the airport. You know, so we definitely have to wash our hands constantly. So keep that in mind. That's important. Woo. Yes.
And be proactive and
Yes.
feel anything.
Yeah.
Don't sit around
Don't
and
say, wait, no.
until it increases and gets worse.
Right.
So our time is well spent today, but we have a lovely, lovely sister who has joined us. We're happy that you're here with us, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for asking me.
Yes.
I appreciate it so very much.
Well, I think it's an appropriate way to actually, close out our show with Minister Rosa Hodge, because she definitely can sum this all up and get us back into this meditative state of keeping ourselves healthy, right? Clearing out our mindset and finding alternative ways to actually, keep us healthy. So I think we're totally amazed at how we are, coming along with you. So I just want to welcome Rosa Hodge to the show. Welcome.
I want to thank you. You know how many times I've watched your show on Saturdays and you're like, oh man, I want to do that.
Thank you.
I want to be there. So it is important. I appreciate the information that you have given.
You got to bring it back. 'Cause you can't.
I also want to understand, I want folks to understand that it is important for us to take an active part in our healing,
Yes.
in our health.
Yes.
And a lot of times we miss that because we go to doctors
Right.
and we listen to what they say and we believe what they say.
Yes.
And
yes.
then we begin to take these medicines that they say
yeah.
with all these side effects.
all those chemicals.
Right. You know, they start out building these pharmaceuticals on the herbs that God created.
Yeah.
And then they add stuff,
Right.
which gives us side effects. And so before we know it, we not only have the problem that he identifies with, but we got all the other stuff that
something else added to it.
It affects the other
So,
organs. Yeah.
I am a fond, and I am not just a fond, I am an avid believer in that a body can heal itself.
Yes.
Me too.
I've heard that quite a
Me
few
too.
times.
We are given over 50 billion trillion cells in our bodies
Yes.
that reproduce every year. It takes a total of 7 years for all our cells, I do believe, to completely transform into a new cell. However, what happened to me was when I heard that information, I said, well, why? If I feed myself the right things, then my body's cells will begin to heal themselves
That's right.
and produce healthier cells, like oxygen. Our cells need oxygen to heal. Most of us don't even breathe right. We don't really get the oxygen that we need.
Right.
You know, our cells are supposed to be a certain shape in order to be healthy. Most of them are not, because we don't eat the right foods, because we don't drink enough water, we don't actually do the exercise, there's so many things that we don't do on a consistent basis to allow our bodies to heal.
Right. Yes.
And then it comes to the mindset.
Yeah. That's right.
The mindset that I have come to believe that nothing man can tell me about my body that God cannot tell me the truth of.
Amen. Amen.
You know, I have, over the years, I have been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I had it all along because there's some things that happened to me when I was a child. But of course, in 1953 and in the 50s, they didn't really have a diabetes thing.
That's right.
So once that started, I said, oh my God, really? So we made a deal. They say, talk about those belief systems, those deals that you make with God. Because the only thing that I knew about diabetes was an experience I had when I was in college. And the woman had no legs. That was it.
Wow.
You lose limbs.
Right.
I said, okay, God, we got this thing going on here, but we ain't losing nothing.
Right.
Ain't nothing coming off of me. The same parts of my body will be in my body, on my body, actively working when they put me under.
Right.
Okay. In that process, the doctors have told me, oh, you got liver problem. Oh, you got cancer. Not cancer. No, God, that's not it. You got kidney problem. You know, your foot won't heal because you're diabetic.
Right.
Really? That is not what God told
That's
me.
not. No, it's
And
not.
that's what I believe.
So would you understand this from a point of view that you can attribute that to your eating, or was this hereditary, or how did this come about for you?
You know,
relative to that.
Doctors want to tell you that diseases are hereditary. There is nothing that I got from my mama and daddy, because when he created me as an individual. Yes, physically, you know, I come from an egg and a...
Of course. But there's some
sperm.
things in everyone's DNA
That's what they want.
contributes from not maybe your mom and daddy, but from someone in their family.
Now let me tell you this. I am, and you may not be able to relate to this, my DNA is God's DNA. Period.
Got that.
Period.
Absolutely.
And no matter what a doctor or science might tell you, God supersedes all that.
Absolutely.
That's
You
right.
know, so no one in my family
Creator.
has diabetes. Never had diabetes until they were 90. And that's the reason why is because our body stops producing certain chromosomes as we get older, if we don't feed ourselves right.
Right.
So I don't believe or take to heart anything a doctor tells me.
Right.
Not a thing. And I am 66 years old,
Amen.
going on
You're
67.
medicine free right now.
No, I am not. Don't
Okay.
get that wrong. I take insulin
Okay.
because I don't produce insulin. Never have.
Right.
So that's my only thing I take. And even with that, I still take an herb called bitter melon, which allows me to not have to take insulin every time I eat.
So Minister Rosa, let's talk about your meditative practices to get you to think like you are, because you're obviously not thinking like the rest of us here that believe that lie that was told us that we have inherited something, because I don't believe that either. I believe that we are all made differently, but how do you get to that state of mind where you're going into meditative state to say, I'm healing my body? And then share your testimony of how your body actually healed itself, and it could have been worse with your fall. So share that.
Thank you, Charlene. That was a process. When I realized that I could heal my body, I started asking the right questions to Spirit. What can I do to promote this?
Right.
Accepting the fact that I can heal. So then I started reading and studying about...
Name us one book that you were studying, because I know we got some people in the audience want to know about that.
Okay, so...
Just one book, yeah.
Just one book.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you one title, and it's like a Bible to me.
You got 2 minutes?
Yes.
I got 2 minutes. I started my process on A Course in Miracles, which taught me how to forgive and how to love me, how to accept me. Whatever the process that I was going through, I can look at it and say, what do I need to do? What is my part play? So I got 2 minutes. Let me tell you about what happened with my ankle. I stepped out off my bed, which sits really high, and I heard a crack in my head. I saw a picture of wood splintering, breaking. I heard that. I looked down at my ankle because I was on the floor by then. I looked at my ankle was one place and my foot was another. And I looked at it and said, oh wow. I didn't say, oh God, it hurts. I just said, wow. A tear rolled down my eye and I said, now what do I do now? The tear rolled down because I had all these plans for the new year. And I knew that in this situation it would be a little complicated. But what I realized is that I felt no pain. And just before then, the week before, because I do lessons online in A Course in Miracles, we have been studying that I am not a body. I am more than a body. I am a spiritual being first.
Yes.
And the Spirit leads me where He wants me to go.
Yes.
I just have to be open and willing to do it.
So was this the first sign for you to say that you were having some problems health-wise? What did that contribute to you after that? What happened? Fast forwarding.
Okay, fast forwarding now.
Yes.
In that process, before I even got to the hospital, I immediately saying, God, all the people, the doctors, the nurses, the helpers, whatever, will all come in alignment to assist me in my healing.
You better affirm that, girl.
And that's what happened.
Yes, yes.
The ambulance came in 15 minutes.
There you go.
They wheeled me to one of the hospitals in Southeast that folks don't like. I love them. The United Medical Cares. They wheeled me in there. Within the first 24 hours, I had seen the specialist. They had wrapped it, cast it, unwrapped it, took me in the hospital, operated, and I was up in the room New Year's Eve day.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, what I find is that we must affirm the good things in our life.
Love it.
We have to turn around those experiences that ordinary people will say, oh my God. You know, folks on Facebook, I Facebook pretty much everything. They saw it, they said, ouch, that hurts. And I was like, no, it didn't. It didn't hurt. But the one thing that I also realized is that the mind can play tricks on you.
Yeah.
So that first day, when I woke up, I kept hearing and seeing the picture of that wood, my bone breaking. So I had to immediately erase that. I was like, God, you know better. That ain't gonna happen.
You had to put in your mind that it was back together.
It was healing. That's
I didn't tell you that part.
Yeah,
This sister right here is one of my oldest friends in years. And she called me, she said, girl, I slept last night and I saw God's hand putting your bones back together.
That's mindset. That's
Confirmation. Confirmation. So I am so grateful.
So you're familiar with that because Linda talks about it also. Mindset healing. We talked about all the doctors that we need healing. We need to be aware. We had DC help. And now this mindset of actually imagining yourself healed. See yourself diabetes free. See yourself cancer free. See yourself
And that's
well.
the thing that we all have to do relative to our health, period, no matter what we're learning, what's going on, to have to stay positive because your body can heal from the inside out.
Yes.
It's all in how you have the faith. You have to do that.
I love you, ladies.
So today, we have been talking about our health, how we're going to stay healthy so that we can have wellness, so that we can spiritual wealth, so we can stay where we need to be. 20 pounds, 20 pounds.
20 pounds. 20,000. No, I'm trying to gain money, honey. Gain weight in our pockets. It's already there. Firm that.
Time today.
Yes.
We're so thankful.
Get that.
Join us today.
No way.
We love Loso Baby. We
Pockets.
love all of our guests who always support us. Savita.
Savita, entrepreneur.
And Black
Loso.
I must say this, ladies. I have my sister in the house, and as my sister, my baby sister, she is making history.
That's right.
I know. I need to get me a sweet potato pie.
I do too.
Boys and boys.
I need to get a sweet potato pie.
We're talking about you.
Sweet potato pie in the house. Oh, sorry.
Must purchase and buy a sweet potato pie here.
Do they make a big sweet potato pie here?
A sweet potato pie is
Do they make a big one where you can like bring it out to the table and we can slice it? Do they do that? They made the small one? That is not fair. See, I was going to give sweet potato pie to everybody. Forget that. I'm all for that.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You get a pie. You get a pie.
Our first community outreach from what we're doing. We're so busy being inside the studio. This is the first time for us. Well, not the first time being out, because we've always been out.
But first time in here.
Exactly, at Busboys Award. So we're grateful we will be back again in March, so miss it up. Check us out. Go on busboysandboys.com and check them out when our guests and tours will be here. Spread the word because we are about making sure that you stay healthy and that you have health.
Absolutely. We did. Look.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do that before we leave. As you all know or may not know, we have 4 different areas that we speak on every month. The first Saturday is domestic violence. That's headed by me, Wyoming. Second Saturday, which is headed by Black Girl Linda. Third Saturday is
Black Girl Magic Education.
headed by Charmaine. And the fourth Saturday,
Entrepreneurship.
we have covered it all. And then we have a fifth Saturday.
There's young folks up in the house. Yes.
Head of our youth, which is going to be this month, we have a good Saturday, and that's called For Youth Live. We have Dante and Noah, and we have two other young ladies.
Nora, okay. Amazing. Can we get your information really quickly before we go out with our sling? How do we get in touch with you, Rosa?
I'm going to say call me.
Call her.
Otherwise, I'm on Facebook all over. I have an I Am Affirmations
Right
group.
there?
And if you go on Facebook and join my group, it's called I Am Affirmations Group, A Course in Miracles. Just put in I Am Affirmations. It'll pop up.
I Am Affirmation.
Join it, leave and message me your email, and I will send you a free ebook on affirmation.
All right. I Am Affirmations. Rosa, J. Hodge, guys. Well, that's it.